Hi, y'all. Welcome to Joyful Living. My name is Joy. I'm so happy to be leading this for you guys today. I recorded this yesterday, but it did not record with sound, so I guess that means I get to do it again and hopefully better. Second time's the charm. So, we've been talking about a couple different themes over the last couple months, and this month is finance. Now, just a little bit of background about why I'm talking about this. You can go back to my first week where I talk about my money story. I wasn't really always the best with finance, but I was a financial professional. I just, kind of landed into a space where I became a financial professional for 4 years. So I taught people everything about money, how it works, how to do their budget, how to invest and save. And so this month, I really want to break down the different pieces of finance and why it's such an important thing to take seriously. Because honestly, if you don't make an effort to find it out, we don't really learn it in schools, unless you learn it from your parents, good, bad, or ugly. That's what it's going to be, right? A lot of people don't have a leg up financially in this society. So I want to talk about it because I'm passionate about it. So we talked about saving last week. I'll sprinkle a little bit of that in here. But today I want to talk about investing. So let's just jump right in. Investing. Because investing and saving are not the same thing. They're very different, but they're both still very important to long-term longevity and financial wellness. So why does it matter? Saving and investing actually shape your future. So not only do they shape this moment, but investing especially is something that you do with a long-term goal in mind. It is not something that's instant gratification. And here's the thing. By the way, if I look over here, I'm looking at my notes because I want to make sure I get all the points for you guys. The truth of investing is if you ignore it now, it can cost you later, and it will oftentimes cost you later. Investing is what helps you to stop working one day and enjoy life with your family. So I don't know what your work schedule is like. I've talked to so many people over the years that have really loose schedules all the way up to like 7 days a week. At one point or another, I think we all want to be able to stop and enjoy the fruits of our labor. And if you don't pay attention to investing now, you're going to miss out on that opportunity. I know plenty of people who make a lot of money and have retired young. I also know plenty more people who have not taken it seriously and are now working well into their 70s. And I'm not talking like cute corporate stuff. I'm talking long hours, heavy lifting, things like that. Things that require a lot of energy and effort. So let's talk about it and get serious, because what it does, it creates peace now for you, but it also creates security in your family in the future. So let's talk first about what most people get wrong, because today is not just going to be like a cute big idea thing. I have some actual things and tools that you can use for yourself and your financial, awareness and understanding moving forward. People think that they have more time than they do. When I was a financial professional, it was about 4 years, like I said. I used to sit one-on-one with clients every single day, all the time. And one of the biggest things that I saw was I blinked and now I'm 20 years into my career and I haven't started investing or saving. Or I thought I was going to have more time, or I was waiting until I was going to get more money. A lot of people are caught off guard by retirement, which, I totally understand. Day to day we can get swept up in, but it's something that you really got to keep your eye on, because as you get older, time moves quicker. And my parents told me that all the time, and I never believed them. But now I'm like, I get it, Mom and Dad, you were right. All right, I thought I wanted to grow up. I didn't, right? What most people get wrong is thinking they have more time than they do. They believe that they'll start later when life feels easier, right? When I get more money, when I get that next promotion, right? But whenever we get there, we forget the most important part is to make sure that all of our ducks are in a row. I like nice things, okay? I'm not going to apologize for that. That's just what it is. But I have to check myself sometimes, because I'm like, I don't need that new gym set. I don't need that, this, that, and the other. I don't need to go out and get coffee every day. I have it at home for way less expensive, right? So it can be easy to get caught up into, I'll do it later, or I'll do it when life gets easier. But wealth actually needs time and consistency to grow. So what a lot of people miss about money and investing, they have the money part and they have the interest part because your money needs to grow for you. But a lot of people, there's a third piece, and that's time. A lot of people don't understand that time is the most important component for money growth, right? Think about starting to build your money at 30 versus starting to build your money at 18 versus starting at 55. Who's going to have the longest amount of time for their money to grow? Obviously the 18-year-old. I'm not telling you if you're older it's too late now, but I'm saying you need to start. And if you haven't, right, you need to start expeditiously. A lot of people start late, and that honestly makes the journey so much harder. It makes it harder. You have less time, like I talked about. So let's get in the difference between saving and investing, because I feel like people can just like lump it into one idea, but it's really not the same. I broke down saving last week, and saving is security and short-term peace. Saving is your emergency fund for a rainy day, right? If you were to ever lose your job, you're not worried about getting kicked out on the street, right? Because you have bills and coverage. If you ever have unexpected car expenses, or maybe your tax bill is bigger than you think, or there's unexpected life expenses, all those things where you're not able to work, right? Savings is for the immediate now. Savings is for that cushion, for that protection. So when things come up, you can have that coverage. And that's definitely important, and you need to start there. So if you don't have any savings, go back and watch the last video, and then come back here when you're ready. Investing is building for your future self. So investing is super, super important because that is thinking about long-term financial wealth. That is generational wealth, right? Investing is not just like for now and for today. It's for my retirement. Or for example, retirement is I work till a certain age and then I don't want to work anymore. I want to sip Mai Tais on the beach, right? And if you want that, go off. Totally get it. I think I'm going to be more of a financial freedom girl. Financial freedom is the ability to work or not, right? If I want to work, I can, but I have money, so I don't have to. Because I feel like I'm always going to want to be active. I feel like I get bored quickly. But I'm going to want to do things that fill up my soul that aren't necessarily things I need to do to pay the bills. Does that make sense? So investing is a little bit different because that is a longer term goal. And in this culture of instant gratification, it's really easy to get lost and wrapped up in the now. And it's important to be present in today. It's important to be present in now, and especially in your financial situation. But it's also as important to be looking into the future and looking at what you should be investing and setting yourself up, especially if you have a family, right? Because one thing I know is I don't want to worry about my parents not having set themselves up so that it negatively affects and impacts me. I'm not worried about my parents. I know they have it figured out. I trust that their financial situation is under control. They've taught me a lot. They know a lot, so I don't have to worry about that. Do your kids have to worry about that? Right? Do you want to always be worried and have that? I'm not going to get into it, but investing is super, super important. So I'm going to talk a little bit about my perspective and what changed for me. I'll say it often and I'll say it loud. I did not take money seriously in my early 20s. I didn't take it seriously. That wasn't the focus. I was a dance major in college. Not that there's anything wrong with that because that's a real, true profession. Okay, try and do that. It's a lot more than you think. But I was just in this, I'm not going to do a 9 to 5. I'm just going to do whatever I want. I'll waitress. And like everybody's path is different. So I don't want you to take this as like dancers and waitresses are bad, because they're not. There are plenty of dancers, plenty of food service people that take their money really seriously, that just enjoy what they do, that enjoy the freedom of that. I'm not talking about the profession. I'm talking about my mindset. Right? You could be a CEO of a company making several multi-six figures and still be broke because you don't have the right money mindset, right? If you make six figures but you spend six figures, you're still paycheck to paycheck. You're still broke, right? So this is anyone across the board, but for me, I didn't take money seriously. Luckily, I had a wonderful company who, although I'm not with them anymore, they taught me a ton about money, leadership, mindset, all that stuff. And that was great. The money piece was the biggest for me because It really gave me independence and ownership over my finances, and it gave me freedom. It really helped me a lot. So, learning how money worked changed everything for me. Now, I'm going to get a little bit mathy, but stay with me here. I'm going to try to break it down as easy as I can. I want to give us some understanding around the ins and outs of money. This is very, very basic. This is not meant to be the end all be all. I just want to get our minds working. But first, there's 3 rules of money. You have to make money. You have to keep money. So not only do I have to make money, but you have to keep the money that you make. And you also have to grow your money. So it's not enough to make and keep my money, because that's not going to get me to retirement. I have to learn how to grow my money. And the wealthy are wealthy because they understand these principles. So I want to talk to you about the rule of 72 and compound interest. Because interest isn't everything. It's in your credit cards, it's in your student loans, it's in your wealth building assets. Interest can be for or against you. Einstein discovered the rule of 72, and the rule of 72 basically means if you take 72 and you divide it by the amount of interest your money is earning over time, it's going to tell you how long it takes your money to double. So if that was like a big chaotic thing for you, I'm just going to put this up for a second. So rule of 72, you take 72, divide it by your interest, and it'll tell you how long it takes your money to double. So for example, let's say for me, my worst time ever, I had a car that was earning a 24% interest rate against me. Now 72 divided by 24, I'm going to do the math really quickly just to show you. 72 divided by 24, the amount of interest earning, means that my money was going to double against me every 3 years. So the first year I had it, I was barely paying the minimum. I wasn't even touching what I owed. So I owed around $10,000. So in 3 years, it would have turned from $10,000 to $20,000. And if this is like all one big mess for you, take a pause, look it up online, and have it broken down for you for real. So the rule of 72, basically what I'm trying to tell you here is compound interest is one of the most integral parts of money making, money growing, not just money making, but growing your money, right? Because the reality here is there is no amount of saving that you can do to get you to retirement. So after the rule of 72, because we're talking about interest, I want to get into, sorry, I'm grabbing something. I want to get into your financial independence number. Now, this is going to be a little bit easier for you to understand, fingers crossed. And if it's not, just, we'll figure it out. Message me. If you want to hop in here and get some knowledge, I'm going to help you calculate your financial independence number. So grab a piece of paper and a pen. And I want you to draw 2 circles on top of each other. So you're going to do one small one and then one big one. All right? Right here, I want you to write your current age. So I'm 29. That's my current age. How old I am. Right? And then you're going to write what age you want to be financially free or what age you want to stop working or retire. And that's going to be on this side. So I want to stop working at 55. Once I hit 55, I don't want to do it anymore, y'all. I want to be done. I'm over it, right? Are we keeping track so far? So this is current age, and this is age I want to retire. I know, this is a little bit chaotic. Stay with me. And then, if you're a man, think about the men in your family. If you're a woman, think about the women in your family. So what is the average age that those people live till? For example, I have a great-grandmother who lived to be 99 years old. I have 2 grandmothers that are in their late 70s and are seemingly very healthy. And hopefully, God willing, they'll be around for a lot longer. But, I feel like I have good genes. not denim jeans, but like jeans, like family jeans. So I think realistically, if my great grandmother lived till 99, my grandmothers are doing great. I'm going to shoot for 95 because I'm healthy. I take care of myself, So let's just say get yourself a little bit extra, maybe an extra 5 years. I'm going to say this is the average age of your family members, or about how long you think you're going to live. So I'm shooting for 95 because I just want to be prepared, right? Now, you've got your current age, you've got the age you retire, and then you've got how old you want to be, how old you think you're going to be when you pass away. Now is on to the math part. Stick with me. So, in the middle, you're going to do how many working years you have left. So this is the difference between my retirement age and my current age. So if I take 55 minus 29, you can use a calculator if you want. This is 26. So I have 26 working years. Not that long if you think about it. You can retire later if you want. For me, financial freedom, I want it young. Okay? I have 26 working years to come up with the money that I need to retire. You think it's a lot longer, and yet literally, we're going fast. And then I want you to calculate how many years you have of retirement. Because once I retire and get financial freedom, I don't want to do anything else. So there's about 40 years here. I've got 40 years that I want to live without having to worry about my money. Right? And you can say this is a pipe dream. You calculate how you want it. Current age, retirement age, age you think you'll pass away, and then do those numbers. And then, right here, I'm getting somewhere, I promise. You're going to do the amount of income you want to take home. Let's say you retired tomorrow. How much money would you want to take home and have just to be able to live comfortably? For me, I like nice things, okay? So let's just shoot for 6 figures. Just to, average 100,000 for rent, for travel, because I want to be able to travel the world. I want to be able to have nice things. Okay, let's just shoot for 100K. And yours may be less and yours may be more. Who knows? So that means I would need $100,000 a year for 40 years in retirement. Let's do the math. Get your calculator. So you're going to take this number right here, 100,000. 100,000 times it by 40, right? Times it by the amount of years I'm not having to work, right here, this one. Oh, $4 million is my retirement number. 4 million. So I'm going to write that right here. $4 million in today's money if I retire tomorrow. Now, here's the really crazy part. Stick with me. Take that number, that 4 million, and you're going to divide it by the amount of working years that you have. Because I have 26 years to accrue somewhere in some savings accounts $4 million. So, I didn't mean to do that. My bad. I'm going to take that 4 million. I'm going to divide it by 26. Your working years. This one right here. Divide it by 26, which means I would have to save every year, if I was just going to save to retirement, I would have to save almost $154,000 every year. Let's just round up because 153.8 is basically 154. So I would have to save, and this is not talking about any bills that I have. This isn't talking about money I'm accruing. This is talking about if I was to stick it in my mattress. Okay? $154,000 a year I would have to save over that 26 working years, and my pen is dying. Lovely. Good thing I have another one. So $154,000 a year. Now let's break it down per month, right? Because you're thinking, I don't know, that seems like a lot. If I wanted to get it per month, I'd divide it by 12 months in a year, right? So divided by 12 means I would have to save every month for the next 26 years of my life $12,800. If I want to retire comfortably, if I was just to save, no investing, no growing. Now, I know this was like a literal trip I took you on, and this was one of the things that I got to do whenever I was teaching financial independence. This is the reality of the situation. And this is if I was to retire tomorrow. I'm not going to retire in another 26 years. So do you think that my money is going to go up, down, or stay the same? Inflation, right? You think $4 million now is going to get me what it's going to get me in 20 years? I don't think so. Not based on the inflation rates nowadays. So is it 4, 5, or 6 million? Or 7? Right? So I hope that you went on this journey with me, because this gives you a lot of, it can seem a little terrifying, but it's not supposed to be, because this is just if I was to save. This is not talking about if I invest. And this is why no amount of saving your money, shoving it in a mattress or in your pillowcase or in a bank that doesn't accrue interest, it's not going to get you to where you want to go. It's just not, right? So I'm going to leave this up for a second so you can see it. Current age, working years, retirement age, like when you're going to pass away, you think, retired years, etc., annual income, and then calculate. So I know this was a lot, and this was probably really chaotic, and this is the most like hands-on stuff I've done with you guys. But I'm doing that because I really want you to get a sense for how important investing is. It's not a joke. It's not a part-time gig. It's not an option, honestly. That alone is not going to happen, right? And I don't want you to take away from this that you're never going to hit the goal. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying investing is way more important than you realize. And it's important that you start now. And it's important that you find accounts that will grow over time without loss, right? I can talk about that another day if we really want to get into it. If you want to start somewhere slow, everybody take a breath, because I know that was a lot. It was a lot of information. If you have any questions for me, drop it down below. I'm happy to answer. I just want you to take beginner steps. I don't want you to freak out or think you need to like sell your house or start selling feet pics. I don't know. I don't know why that came out, but stop worrying. You'll be fine. And if you're on track, then go look at your 401k, your investment accounts, your savings, look at what you have, calculate through that. How to start if you're just like, this is a lot, I don't know what's going on. Take a breath, start with a savings account. Not just a regular savings account at your bank. A high yield savings account. Now, a high yield savings account is a savings account you can access pretty instantly, but it also is accruing interest over time. So I have a high yield savings. I have my emergency fund in there. Well, more than my emergency fund, but I have a big, chunk of savings in there, and it earns me money every month. And yes, I have to pay taxes on it, and no, it's not a ton, but it's nice to see at the beginning of every month that a little bit of money drops back into my savings just for me having it in there. I use Wealthfront, and if you want, I can give you a code that will boost your interest for a couple months. If you want to DM me and ask for that, I'd be happy to send that to you. Build that emergency fund, but build it in a place where interest is growing if you want to start there. And then I would automate money out of every paycheck. If it's $50, if it's $100, as soon as your money drops in your bank account, it auto transfers to your savings. So it's building automatically. And honestly, I need to start doing this because I was looking at this and I haven't been as consistent as I want to be. And then start investing small and consistently. You don't have to, drop a bunch of money or go overboard. Just like anything, if you build small and consistently over time, it's going to transition into a habit, and then it's going to transition into something that you want to do and something that you can see the returns of and something that you feel confident doing, right? Don't wait until you feel ready, because the reality of life is that you're never going to be ready. We are never ready. We have never hit the end goal right? There is never a, I've made it. If you're still on this planet, you're still working through it. And sometimes it's hard to feel ready. It's hard to take action, but you have to, right? And that's why I am sharing my heart and my message around investing, because I'm very, very passionate about your financial independence. Because for me, it changed my life. Am I perfect at it? Have I figured it out? All of it? Absolutely not. I've still got work to do. I've still got more investing to make, and I've got to get more serious about that. And, you've got to really get clear on your priorities, but I feel like getting this awareness and this education is super powerful, because where are people teaching this? Where are you learning this? If you're not looking for the information, it's not going to jump onto your front door and say, hey, I want to help you change your life and save your money and retire early or retire at all. Money management is about more than money. It gives you peace, freedom, and options, right? It's about your long-term health. And no, I don't think that money buys happiness, but it sure does solve a lot of problems. And I'll say that with force. I've been broke and I've been stable. And let me tell you what, stable is so much better. It gets uncomfortable and awkward there in the middle bit, but it's worth it. Start where you are. So if you feel like you're behind, don't. You only know what you know, right? And once you know something different, you got to do something different. So just start where you are and focus on the next step, not the whole mountain. Right? This is a journey that you're going to be taking the rest of your life. Your financial wellness, your financial education, your financial legacy, that's something that you're going to be building for years to come. So do not focus on how far you have to go or that 4 million, right? Focus on what can I do right now that can start the snowball effect to build those habits, to build that income, to build my confidence around my money, because it is the small things. I used to think growing up that it was all the big things that counted, but as I grow and as I mature over time, I'm realizing it's the little things that make the biggest difference. It's the little moments, it's the little habits, it's the little choices and disciplines and consistencies. For example, I wake up every weekday morning, I go and work out. I wake up at 4:55 because I needed that extra 5 minutes, okay? I did not want to wake up this morning. My bed was feeling real nice, and that happens more often than not, but my gym clothes were laid out, and I had a friend expecting me at the gym. So you know what I did? Dragged my butt up and went to the gym. And by the end of it, I was feeling better. And I'm talking about this because it relates to your fitness. Your fitness relates to your finance as well. You drag your butt up, and you start working out your finances. You start digging into those things that are hard and uncomfortable. Because at this point for me, these things are no longer choices I'm making. They're habits that I have. Checking my budget app, making sure I'm good, making sure the purchases I make I can actually afford. Right? It's a weekly thing. It's a consistent thing, right? So focus on the next step. And the last thing I'll leave you with is the people who win with money don't usually start big. They're usually just consistent. So thank you for trusting me today. I know this was a lot of information. I appreciate you guys, and I hope that you will gain confidence in this area, and I'm happy to help. I'm serious about this being something I want to live with joy. I want to live joyfully, and I'm really grateful that you guys are choosing to do that with me here together. So I will see you guys next week, where we start diving into relationships. Woo! Should be fun. And I appreciate you. I will see you next time.